If our brain isn't aware of those felt sense signals and physical sensations that start off the interoceptive system, it's going to be really difficult to feel and be aware of emotions. They always go together.
Today, we're unpacking what alexithymia is, how it ties to trauma in the brain, and most importantly, how can we work with it? This isn't just about emotions, it's about disrupted body-brain communication. And when we understand that, we can start to train those systems back online. Welcome to Trauma Rewired. I'm your co-host, Jennifer Wallace. I'm a neurosomatic psychedelic preparation and integration guide.
And I'm your co-host, Elisabeth Kristof, founder of brainbase.com, an online community where we use applied neurology and somatics for resilience, behavior change, personal growth. And I'm also the founder of the Neurosomatic Intelligence Coaching Certification, an ICF-accredited course for therapists, coaches, and practitioners.
If our body signals are not integrated and that interoception can't be felt, our brain can't build an accurate emotional prediction. It doesn't know if it should engage or disengage. It doesn't know if it should let down its walls and be vulnerable or hold up the shield and be protected, right? So in that loss of predictability, it either guesses about what to do, in which case we can become emotionally inaccurate for a situation, or it just shuts down. Okay, so interoception becomes that key target for change. And there's the connection between the insular cortex and that prefrontal cortex, going all the way back to the beginning of this conversation. If our brain isn't aware of those felt sense signals and physical sensations that start off the interoceptive system, it's going to be really difficult to feel and be aware of emotions. They always go together. Felt sensation, then emotion, then articulation.
Yeah. And like so many things we talk about on here, we're always saying everything is a skill and every skill is trainable, including that interoceptive skill, and that our developmental experience is our training ground to develop these skills. And so that does shape how our brain and our nervous system function later in life. And it's not fixed, right? Because we are always adapting to new stimulus, to the ways that we interact with our nervous system. We are neuroplastic. And so this is something that is, I don't know if reversible is the right word, but there you can make progress in shifting out of this. And I have experienced this. We've seen it with our clients. And there was a study in 2008 that looked at this particularly, and that PTSD patients' alexithymia scores did drop significantly after effective trauma therapy, suggesting that it is at least partially reversible. And when we can start to use our neuro tools to create regulation and safety around emotional processing, right, to help our nervous system have the capacity and to do that gentle interoceptive training gradually over time to feel those signals, but then also to, in those moments of, I'm going to try to process the emotion, I'm going to try to connect to my body, can I equip my system with some positive stimulus that creates that safety and regulation so that my system has more good experiences, and then using my tools on the back end to re-regulate and recreate that safety. And I'm teaching my nervous system, it is safe to start to dip my toes into this. I can come back, I can regulate, I have the capacity.
I mean, we absolutely know that this can be rewired because of you. You are case and proof of this,
Here
right?
I am.
Like, you're right here, providing once again, or proving once again how effective NSI is, and how much we stress this daily practice, this intentional body mapping, and the interoceptive work, because you know that we don't believe in personality traits, and traditionally alexithymia has been viewed as a fixed personality trait, and studies show how it can fluctuate with stress, with trauma recovery, and nervous system regulation. So regulation and stress processing absolutely can make a big difference.
There are studies, numerous studies, that do look at changes with this output with interoceptive training, which is what we do through neurosomatic intelligence, is provide this gradual minimum effective dose training for the interoceptive system. And there is research looking at that makes a tangible difference in this experience. Yeah.
So I'm going to give some practical ideas of where you can start with this. But as I do, let me preface and say, remember, always use minimal effective dose, assess and reassess. And while I'm going to mention some really specific tools that may make a practical difference, you need to assess these for yourself. Okay, so don't take this as a blanket recommendation that it would be effective for everyone. Please test it and actually find out how your nervous system responds. But here's where I would start in a general way, okay? Number one, I would try to work with someone to increase interoception in a very gentle or even passive way throughout the day, like using breathing drills, an ab belt or a scarf around the midsection, or maybe a weighted blanket or a heating pad if those are comfortable. That would be number one. Number two, I would adopt some very gentle movement practices so we get the feeling of that body movement on an internal sense, okay? Like yin yoga or slow dynamic stretching would be useful there to really learn how to feel the body's interoceptive signals. But remember, go at your own pace and allow yourself permission to stop before it's obvious that you need to.
Make sure to subscribe to this episode on our audio platforms or hit the little bell on YouTube to subscribe to our channel so that you never miss an episode, because we have lots of exciting conversations coming up, breaking down the science and the trauma of emotional health and nervous system resilience.